Hi, welcome back to a new episode of Medfield Sports Network. This is episode 6. I'm joined by Bobby Spence and special guest
Jared Hirshfield.
Yeah, so we're going to recap with last week's games and matchups.
Starting off with boys tennis win over Zavarian 3-2. Big doubles match win for the boys from Jack and Will.
Yeah, and then Friday, baseball wins versus Bellingham. They're now 5-1. Shirtlift had a great game, no-hitter, and 14
Ks.
14 Ks.
Wow.
Impressive. And then boys Lax beats Bellingham. They're now 19-1. They won 19-1, sorry. Boys Lax is now, I believe, 8-2. And softball loses to Bellingham 5-8. That was a tough loss. They're going to have to bounce back from that. Boys volleyball beat St. John's 3-0.
That's a big game. It's a big win for the boys
That was
volleyball
big.
team.
Yeah, we watched that. They all played well. Great team effort. And then girls tennis beat Dedham 5-0. They're still undefeated. Girls tennis is phenomenal this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the girls lax team beat Bellingham. Easy win, 18-0. That was expected. Maeve Kelly with 2 goals and 4 assists. Shout out to her.
I'm getting into Saturday here. The boys lacrosse team with a big win over Pinkerton Academy, 11-3. Cole Cloney, Caleb Lawson, 2 goals each. Pretty big win against a out-of-state team.
Yeah, and on Monday, softball loses a close one to Norton, 5-6. And but then the boys' Lax team won last night against DS, 15-6, with Bobby Spence with 13 saves and Luke Murphy with 6 goals.
Yep, and then also boys tennis beat Norton 5-0, easy. And then baseball beats Norton 18-3. Collins, 5 IPs and 9 Ks. Nate and Goody with 4 hits each. Very impressive game for them.
Yeah, boys are rolling.
Welcome back to Medfield Sports Network. I'm Jack Sullivan, joined by Drew Stan and our 2 guests.
Jared Hirshfield.
Jack Sokol.
We have a couple of former Medfield students, youth players. Jared actually did play for the high school team for 3 years. They are now CM Knights. They won the state championship this past fall in football. Sokol's got the ring on right now, so we're very happy to have them on.
2 great athletes.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, boys.
All right, so let's get straight into it. So, Jack, let's start with you. How'd you get into kicking?
Well, I mean, I'll start off with soccer. Started playing when I was 3 years old because, you do what your dad does. So, yeah.
Pete Sokol.
My dad was a huge soccer guy,
Big
so that was my
guy.
first sport. And then kind of got sick of it and said, all right, let's go to football. Let's
Yeah.
change it up. And, the kicking just came naturally.
And Sokol, we don't want to discredit his athletic abilities. He was more than a kicker when he came to football. Played wide receiver, defensive back. Kid could hit, but kicking just came natural, and that's where he landed with his permanent spot on the field. First question for you, Jared. How was the transition from Medfield to CM? Coming from junior year to senior year, how did that go, both on and off the field?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be pretty hard in terms of, off the field, meeting a bunch of new kids and stuff, but honestly it went, really smooth. I'm feeling pretty friendly with, almost everyone in the school.
Yeah.
And on the field was great. Started working out with, the team, just getting to know everyone, and that all went, really well. I feel, comfortable around everyone at CM.
Would you say having Sokol already been at that school for 3 years, him going there after 8th grade, did that help you with your transition?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely kind of, introduced me to a couple kids, so that just kind of, got to know them. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so back to you, Sokes. Do you ever consider a PG year? Obviously, you ended a champ, so,
Yeah.
not much to complain there, but
No.
did you ever consider it?
Yeah, it was something I considered, in the recruiting process.
Yeah.
Especially as a kicker. Everything's so late. But, I think it came down to, if the education's there, take the education.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Prep schools are very, very expensive.
Of course.
And, my parents have invested so much money in me already
Yeah.
to go to CM, and that's a huge sacrifice.
Yep.
And so you kind of
Absolutely.
ask yourself, is it really worth it if I want to have them spend another $60,000? Or I have the college right here. That's a really good fit. So, just got to take it.
For sure.
No, yeah, super pumped for you about Trinity. I think that's a great spot.
It's really cool.
So this one's kind of, for both of you.
Yep.
You guys were an undefeated team, #1 team in New England, undisputed champs. Were there any games you went into, worried about the outcome, where you thought you might not dominate this team by 40 points?
For me personally, yeah, but I mean, maybe Sokol, kind of knowing all the kids on the team
Yeah.
and like how they play for a little bit like longer than I do.
Yeah.
Probably might have been more comfortable in terms of situations.
I mean, like, I felt like not necessarily like blowing each team out by 40 points. I felt like there's teams that we could beat by a good amount. I'd say the one game I was worried though was Bishop Hendricken. It was that was in Bishop Hendricken. Great game, great atmosphere, huge crowd. I think we might have been rattled at the beginning because of how big their crowd was, but they got out to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah.
I think like we went 3 and out.
Wow.
They got the ball, went down the field and scored. I said, all right, this is going to be a
last
very
touchdown
difficult
they
game.
scored.
And so at that point, I wasn't thinking a blowout. I was thinking it's going to be a really difficult game. And then we dropped 42 straight.
And that was the last touchdown they scored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
another
you know what? I
blowout.
think they had one more in the second half.
One more in the second
But we
half,
might have
yeah.
had like 50-something points in that game. So
Yeah.
it was
Wow.
it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That
impressive.
offense is just so explosive.
Yeah, it's
Both sides of the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely saying one game I was worried about was St. John's Prep.
Being a big rivalry game, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really kind of been like played in that environment before, but first drive of the game we went down and scored, which I was feeling good about, and then
Yeah.
they came back and they're driving down the field for God knows how long. It was a long possession, and then Devon Marshall picked it off right at like the
Yeah.
3-yard line, and completely flipped the field and changed the momentum of the game, and that's when I really started to be like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's
like,
huge.
definitely gonna win
Impact
this one.
player.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. So, Sokol, what made you decide on Trinity, Hartford, Connecticut? Great school.
Yeah. So
Bantams.
big things for me are football and education. Obviously, education is the first thing.
Yeah.
For me, I was trying to find a school that I wouldn't be able to get into, like as a student.
Yeah.
But because of football, I can get into.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think all the NESCACs fall in that sort of
Sure.
range.
Great league of
So,
schools.
Great.
and
schools.
also winning is such a big thing
Yeah.
of mine. I've been winning since Vikings. So, I mean,
No, I mean, he's not kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I haven't. I think my
With the
worst
cross,
season was like
yeah.
3 losses, and you guys know how it is.
Yeah.
Like nothing's more fun
Don't
than
wanna
winning
get-
games.
yeah.
I mean,
And-
even youth basketball, I believe
Yeah,
you were a
we,
champion.
yeah,
of the
I
day,
actually
right?
am.
Yeah.
Tim Barrett, head coach.
Yeah.
So, like, well,
That's
I mean, when
awesome.
you win, like the experience is just so much better. And-
Exactly,
and Trinity is,
An
the,
elite
I think, the
program, yeah.
winningest
They're good,
program
yeah.
in the
In the
NESCAC,
NESCAC, yeah,
and they've
that's
won
what
the
I would
most
expect, yeah.
championships. So,
That's great.
Yeah.
it's a great spot academically, great spot athletically.
And you've seen so many guys from the area. I remember that Zavarian running back a few years ago
Yeah.
went there. What was his name?
Mike Massey.
Oh, he was a beast.
Yeah, he's a
so
stud.
Definitely, just an elite program. Jared, this next question's for you. I already asked you about the transition from Medfield to CM. When you were going to CM, stepping on that field with all those, D1 guys, Notre Dame recruit at the end, like, were you at all worried about playing time?
I mean, a little bit, but I just kind of like came in and like ever since the start, coach just kind of threw me at the other
Yeah.
DN spot. So I just kind of knew that I like had that. I was confident in myself that like I was gonna keep that as well. And I mean, offensively, I played a lot of tight end in terms of like blocking purposes. But
Two-way
yeah, I
player.
mean, in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, I was very happy with my playing time
You're in the
throughout
whole
the year.
game.
I
Yeah,
just
to speak
played
on that, Jared
both
was
sides.
really the only guy on the team who went both ways as much as he did.
Yeah.
A lot of those, when you got a team as good as CM, wide receivers aren't even going in at D-back, running backs aren't even playing linebacker because there's just that many athletes on the field.
It's crazy.
Speaking of that state championship game too, like, can you just walk us through that experience and how exhilarating that was for both of you?
So for me personally, obviously I'd never been on the stage of like Gillette, big like Super Bowl before, but Sokol has and almost everyone else on the team. And this one kid was telling me he was like, you understand, like when you walk out, it's just like
Gillette,
it's
yeah.
Gillette, like the lights are like beaming in your face, like everyone's like screaming as you're like coming out of the tunnel, and I was like, oh, I mean, it's probably like no different. I was just kind of telling myself like just a high school game, just like a bigger stadium.
That's good.
But when I tell you, when I walked out of the tunnel, everything you said was just like it's perfectly spot
Chills,
on.
yeah.
Like chills, like the light was like beaming in my face. Like I couldn't even look up. But like when you look up, the sky is like so clear because of how bright the lights are. Yeah, it's just overcome with emotion, to be honest.
So Sokol, you had been to that state championship game 3 times, twice earlier than this year. I know junior year didn't have that opportunity with the season being cut short from COVID. Being in that, game 2 times prior, was it, did it get easier every time?
Honestly, I'd say like being there wise, it did. But like the experience itself is never old. Like you said, walking out there under the lights is incredible, and it's such an incredible experience. And I remember going out there for my first kick, and I was just like, my mind was like spinning. It was like crazy. But at the end of the day, like he said, it's just another game. Once I took my steps and I, hit the ball, I'm like, this isn't anything different. You just gotta do your mechanics, trust in what you do.
Exactly, yeah.
So, obviously we've been talking about it. We already kind of pointed it out, but you're wearing your Super Bowl ring.
I am.
It's pretty cool. So, just wanted to know, how did it feel to end your high school career at Champ, like hanging up the best possible way?
It wasn't good walking off the field as a loser 2 times. I'll say that. It was really, really tough. You go all that way for what you do in the summer. He knows how it is, working out in the summer, football, practices every day, to go all that way and come up 1 game short of winning a ring. And just, being with your team, celebrating. It was really difficult. But, we came in, blessed enough to get the chance to compete for a state championship. I didn't think it was going to happen because of COVID, and it did. And there was no better feeling celebrating with the entire team. There's nothing better than seeing
We were there.
endless smiles. I'll touch on that in a second, but just like the smiles of your whole entire team. There's nothing better seeing everyone happy. And you guys had. You guys were there, and that was crazy. Like we had 30 kids there. It was unbelievable. And so, like, I was so happy after the game that all you guys came out, and I was so grateful. And I'll for sure be there in the playoffs for you guys.
And we loved getting to see you guys celebrate. We were so happy for you guys. With
absolutely. It was great.
That giant trophy, the Aganis trophy.
Yeah.
So, Hirsch, to break the news to the network, you're going to be a Cheshire Wildcat next year at Cheshire Academy.
Attaboy.
You weren't able to get the waiver for the 5th year. We are excited for you though. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on this transition, and you think you're ready for it?
I'd say I think I'm ready for it because I almost already did it with the transition to a new school.
Once before.
Cheshire's a good spot, good team. Another thing that I kind of talked with my family about, it'd probably be good for me because all my friends that I've grown up with are all going to college anyway. So if I'm going to a prep school and it's a board, it's almost like similar to what my friends are doing. Cause, I'm excited for it. Should be a good team.
And what are your expectations for your first season there?
My expectations are just to win.
To win games, yep.
Couple wins, do well as a team.
Good.
Of course, no state championship on the line there, but those NEPSAC bowls are still a huge deal.
Where is that? Cheshire.
Connecticut.
Yeah. It's a little bit. It's like a little bit closer than Trinity.
That's cool. All right, back to you, Soaks. What would you say you're gonna miss the most from high school football? Like, what would you say is your favorite game or memory, or just like what you're gonna miss the most out of it?
I'd have to say the favorite memory was Bishop Hendrick in Rhode Island.
Really?
You can never beat like the Friday night lights. And
there's no feeling.
like I've always heard it from college players, but high school football just hits different. Like I'm sure you guys obviously know, but I think college football just like isn't the same. Not saying that's not a great experience. Of course it is, but high school football, you can't beat it. Friday night lights, can't beat it. Having all your students out there, all your friends that supporting you, like there's nothing like it. So I'll miss the Friday night lights and just being with, so many people that I know that I've known for a long time. I'll definitely miss that.
Just to add on to that, Bishop Hendricken for one was definitely like definition of like high school football.
100%.
We're walking out and like all the fans from like Hendricken are like saying stuff to us, like chirping us, all this stuff. We go on the field. There's like a big like jumbotron that they have.
Wow.
The fans are going nuts, like massive student section, and they're all like in what was it? Construction.
Construction, yeah.
And they're all going nuts. Like,
And they were the Rhode Island State champs, right?
yeah, they were. So definitely good. You should kind of go in and convincingly win that game.
Yeah, I would say that game's really the game that not only puts you on top of Massachusetts, but the whole New England region. You know, beating the best team in Rhode Island, and then obviously being better than any of those schools in New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut. I think you guys really were able to convince everyone else of how elite you were with that win. Sokol, you've already gone through the landed recruiting process.
Yep.
Landed at Trinity, great spot. Jared, what are your expectations for the recruiting process, and is it starting to ramp up now that you're going to go into your senior year? Or?
Yeah, I definitely say like more coaches are starting to reach out a little bit. Just hope I can like land at a spot that's best for me. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right, yeah, no, we're very excited to see where you land too.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
We apologize, but we interrupt you with this special, important commercial announcement presenting Justin's Ring Company. Explore Justin's personalized college and high school class rings, customizable yearbooks, championship rings, graduation products, and much more to celebrate. You know what they say, if you like it, you better put a ring on it.
Welcome back to Look Ahead. We got an action-packed Wednesday. To start off, we got 3:45 baseball versus Millis. That'll be home. Shearling Field, pack that. Then 3:45 also softball versus Millis home, right across the field. And then 5:30 girls Lax versus Norton, also home.
3:45 we have girls tennis at Millis. Should be a pretty good matchup. And then we also have boys volleyball at Millis as well.
And on Thursday, we get 3:45 girls tennis at home against Westwood, a TVL game. And then at the same time, 3:45 boys baseball versus Dedham. And that's in Dedham. And then the boys lacrosse team has a big game on the road against Lincoln Sudbury, and that'll be at 6:30. And so that will conclude this segment, and that will actually conclude the episode. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.